Hey guys, welcome back to Clean Green Being. If it's your first time here, my name is Shelly. Thanks for stopping by. If you don't mind, before you leave, hitting the subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. Also, if you find the information in today's video helpful, be sure to hit the like button as well. In today's video, I'm going to be trying, swatching, and applying two different palettes by the brand BeautyCounter. They are a fantastic, transparent, natural and organic beauty line that only uses the best ingredients that are known to not have any sort of association with being toxic and or harmful to our bodies. I really appreciate that about this brand. If you haven't checked out their website, I would highly recommend it. They have really high performing natural beauty products. I am not a BeautyCounter affiliate. I just want to get that out of the way. I am strictly a consumer that purchases and really likes their products. So with that being said, I'm just going to go ahead and jump right into the video. I'm going to start by showing the palettes and then swatching them on my arm. And then you'll see how I created this look using both the BeautyCounter Romantic palette, which is so gorgeous. You can see I've already been playing in it, and the BeautyCounter Necessary Neutrals, try to have the brush not fall out, palette as well. Really gorgeous warms. There's a mixture of warms and cool tones that I really think you can make a limitless amount of looks with. So if you're interested in seeing these palettes swatched and how I created this look, then go ahead and keep on watching. So let's just move right into the Necessary Neutrals palette. It is limited edition, so if you are interested, I would try to snatch it while you still can. It features 18 long-wearing shades that are to flatter all skin tones. It is a versatile palette that consists of wearable, warm, and cool shades, and it offers a variety of shimmer, satin, and matte shadows that have a luxurious and smooth texture. It comes in an exclusive gold pattern compact with a removable mirror, and it also has a double-ended brush, which is really nice. The first color in this palette is called Flame, and it is a matte orange. It is a beautiful terracotta shade that I think would be gorgeous in the crease. The next shade is called Kava, and this is a pretty peach shimmering neutral. All of their shimmer shades in this palette are gorgeous. The next shade in the palette is Fog, and this is a light neutral taupe color. After Fog, we have Blush, which is a pretty shimmering pink satin shade. Next to Blush, we have Slipper, which is a shimmering pink shade, but just a little bit softer in hue. Super pretty. We next have the shade Buff, which is a matte neutral cream. I use this all the time to set my lid before I apply any of my other color shadows. Moving on to the second line of the palette, we have the shade Clove, which is a rich matte sienna color. Next to Clove, we have Suede, which is a neutral camel-like color that I think is really great to use in my crease. Next we have the shade Slate, which is a shimmering gunmetal gray. Next to Slate we have Sable, which is a rich matte warm brown. Next we have one of my favorite shades in this palette, which is Burgundy, and it is a warm violet color, and it is a shimmer shade. It is so beautiful on the lid. Next to Burgundy, we have Mist, which is a shimmering silver shade. Moving on to the last row of the palette, we have Brandy, which is a rich burgundy shade. Super gorgeous. Next, we have Bittersweet, which is a shimmering warm brown. These dark shades in this palette are just like everything to me. Moving on to Smoke, it is pretty much as it is described. It is a matte gray brown. Next we have the shade Port, which is a deep aubergine brown. Looks like wine to me, like a port wine. Pretty. The second to last shade in this palette is called Haze, which is a warm eggplant purple, right up my alley. And lastly, we have the color Midnight, which is a deep matte black. And that completes the Necessary Neutrals palette. Alright, moving on to the Romantic palette. This palette has a mix of feminine pinks and purples that join candlelit neutrals for the most captivating looks. This palette, per the Beautycounter website, is for all skin tones, and it features 9 long-wearing shades in both matte and satin finishes, and it has a sparkling topper shade, that is beautiful by the way, to take your look from day to night. The first color in this palette is Moto, which looks like a deep matte gray, but it kind of pulls a navy hue when you swatch it or use it on the eye. The next color is Brulee, and this is kind of like a camel-y type matte color that has a slight pink undertone. Super pretty, I use it in my crease all the time. Next shade is called Candlelight, and it is this pretty shimmer pinky peach color that is super gorgeous. Next we have Cameo, which when swatched on your hand, it kind of pulls like a silvery holographic shimmer shade that has pink undertones. Next we have Moondust, which is that sparkly topper shade I mentioned earlier. You can see how gorgeous and like a wet metallic look it gives, and it's not chunky glittery, which is perfect. Next we have the shade Truffle, which is a taupey purpley shimmer shade. Moving on to the last row of the palette, we have Flush, which is a pretty shimmery pinky purple shade. Looks more purple here, but it does have some pink. Next we have Smolder, which is like a deep, deep purple color that has a reflex of blue in it. Hard to see here in the video, but it's there. Lastly, we have the shade Dusk, which is a beautiful mauve-y shimmer shade. Using the palettes to complete an eyeshadow look, I'm going to start by going in with the shade Buff to use on my lids. This helps to set the concealer, which I use as kind of an eyeshadow primer. So I'm just using a basic natural bristled eyeshadow brush to kind of use all over my lid, as you can see here. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Brulee, and I'm just going to use a regular crease brush and just lightly blend this shade into my crease. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Suede with a more pointed and defined crease brush and kind of use that to define my crease a little bit. Next, I'm going to take an eyeshadow brush that doesn't have any product on it and use it to blur and blend out the two shadows together, because blending is always key in any eyeshadow look. Helps it look more professional and put together. Next, I'm going to use the shade Smolder to kind of give it a more dimensional look by adding it to the outer V of my eyes. These powders don't have a lot of fallout. I would say very minimal. You can see probably extra powder because of the lights. It's just enhancing it, but really in real life it is not that bad. So again, I'm just going to add some Smolder to the outer V of my eyes and just lightly drag it into my crease a little bit. And I'm always blending as I go. Always, always, always. And it always kind of looks worse before it gets better, in my opinion, when I do eyeshadow looks like this, especially using deeper colors. But you kind of just have to play with it and work with it. And again, always blend. Next, I'm going to go in and kind of mix the two shades, Brulee and Candlelight, and again, just kind of blend out my crease area to just kind of transition that Smolder color into the rest of my eye look. Going back in with a little bit of Smolder again to just kind of deepen it. Now that I've diffused the edges, I can kind of add a little bit more to add a little bit of drama. Next, I'm going to go in with the shade Dusk and just lightly tap it on my lid. I did not wet my brush, and you can just see how satiny and wet the look is. This shade, it's one of my favorites. Perfect. So next I'm going to use the brush that I had the color Brulee on. I didn't even tip it back into the palette because I'm just using what's left to again blend. There is a pattern here. Alright, moving on, I'm going to use the shade Cameo with this little flat bristled brush. I'm going to apply it to the inner corner eyes just to give it a little bit of highlight. I'm also going to use some blush as well. Flush, my bad. Almost finished. I'm next going to just apply whatever was left on that brush with the shade Cameo to highlight my brow bones. Now again, I don't claim to be a makeup artist, so I am not perfect with how I apply my shadows, but this is just how I learn. Lastly, I'm going to go back in with the shade Blush with a flat tipped brush, and I'm just going to kind of take it gently underneath on my lower lash line. I never put shadow on my lower lash line unless it's a more dramatic look like this, so this is a rare moment for me today. I have really round eyes, and sometimes it just makes them look a little bit crazy when I kind of accentuate it. Okay, so I'm going to go in with the Beautycounter Precision Eyeliner right quick to just line my eyes. This is a great matte black liner, doesn't run, smudge, or bleed. Lastly, before I apply lashes, I'm going to use the Beautycounter Lengthening Mascara. I like this mascara. It does give me some length. It's pretty good to use when I am throwing on some lashes. Easy to remove and doesn't flake throughout the day. And voila! Okay, so that is the completed look using both Beautycounter eyeshadow palettes. I think they worked really well in terms of performance, color payoff, and things like that. They are really pigmented. I noticed that I needed to be really light-handed with a lot of the colors, but that's not a bad thing. I think they have beautiful colors to select from in all of their palettes, so I really think there's something for everyone in these shadows. So obviously I created more of a evening/glam look because I really wanted to use the full potential of these powders. However, these palettes can really be very versatile to your needs depending on if you need them for a special event or if you just want to use them for your everyday use, work, errands, things like that. They really have a full spectrum of looks in these palettes, in my opinion. Let me know in the comments below about these palettes if you have tried them. Do you love them? Do you hate them? With that being said, I just want to thank you for taking the time to view today's video. Again, if you don't mind, before you leave, hitting the subscribe button, I would greatly appreciate it. And I will see you on the next one.